Oh, baby. What a day. What a day. How you doing? How you doing? Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Of course, I hope you guys are having a good day. It's been a better day than usual. It's huge. Yo, market craziness. Yeah. Let me know if you guys can hear me, if you can see me. I'm back, baby. I know I was out of town for a couple days, but happy to be back. I did lie to you guys. I told you I was going to Disneyland. I actually went to Disney World because I'm scared to get kidnapped. But Disney World was great, but I'm happy to be back and obviously back in front of the camera with you all. Now, what better to do today than to talk about the fact that Bitcoin's pumping currently at $82,000. The stock market's up 5, 6, 7%. Many altcoins are up 10 to 15%. And although it may be short lived and it may not last a long time, it is fun and I am enjoying the moment. I'm enjoying the moment, kind of relishing in the moment. So, what's going on, folks? I hope you guys have had an absolutely fantastic weekend. I don't think I've been on live for a week because I did go to Disney with the friends. I'm actually going on another quick trip Friday, Saturday, but I'll be back Sunday. Your boy's all over the place. I just got married. Leave me alone. But today, again, what I want to talk about is what just happened because obviously crypto just took off. Stocks took off. Just wildness all over the market. So we're going to talk about what just happened, what it means, what I'm doing right now, and much more. Of course, if you guys are new to the channel and you don't know who I am and your first time watching, my name is Tyler Hill. I'm one of the co-founders of the Crypto Strategy School, which services thousands of students every single day, every single month, every single week. And yeah, we're going to be going over everything for you all. So grab your popcorn, baby, or your Skittles or Scooby snacks or whatever it may be. Make sure that you get that water and let's get into it. So what the hell just happened? Okay, what the hell just happened? Let's get flat into it. So we got a post from Donald J. Trump, everyone's least favorite person, it seems these days, in which he said, based on the lack of respect that China has shown to the world's markets, I'm hereby raising the tariff charged to China by the United States of America to 125% effective immediately. At some point, hopefully in the near future, China will realize that the days of ripping off the USA and other countries is no longer sustainable or acceptable. Conversely, and based on the fact that more than 75 countries have called the representatives of the United States, including the Departments of Commerce, Treasury, and the USTR, to negotiate a solution to the subjects being discussed relative to trade barriers, tariffs, currency manipulation, and non-monetary tariffs, and that these countries have not, at my strong suggestion, retaliated in any way, shape, or form against the United States, I have authorized a 90-day pause and a substantially lowered reciprocal tariff during this period of 10%, also effective immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. So, a couple things to break down there, okay? Couple things to break down there. Craziness. What's up, everyone? Welcome in. So, sorry, I just got back from the gym. You know, you boys gotta work. Anyway, so China trade war continues. Okay, that is there's good things and there's bad things. So obviously we're in a situation where there is quite viciously a trade war happening between us and China right now, and it's not all that surprising. And it honestly it doesn't feel great that it's happening, but I think the reality is that anybody who has kind of just kept an eye on the economic landscape of things, you kind of saw this coming. You know, like it was just going to take someone who said, "Screw this, I'm done with you," for this to happen. And China's not backing down. And I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. I'm not getting involved with it, guys. I got no dang dog in this fight. I just want to make some money. But what you can see is that we are currently in a bit of a pickle here with China, and it is going to have some impacts. So this is not all positive. Okay, it is not all positive, and I do need to kind of reinforce that because I am going to get a little bit bullish here in a second. But I do need to reinforce the fact that this isn't all positive. You don't want to see what's happening between the US and China happening right now. You don't want to see a trade war between two major powers in the world. You would obviously rather see them come to some sort of agreement, but when you got stubborn United States, you got stubborn China, you put two stubborn people in a room together, well, stubborn shit happens, right? And so we're in a situation where this is still happening, and it's still going to have impacts on the United States that are going to be negative. I mean, you have to understand that by putting huge reciprocal tariffs on China and them doing the same thing, we source so much from China that in the short term, it is going to cause certain things to inflate. You're going to see price impacts. You're going to see slowdowns. You're going to see supply lines slow down. I mean, you're going to see production slow down. You're going to see a lot of these things happen. Even with the 90-day pause across the other countries, you're still going to see things happen, right? And it's just a part of it, right? And so everyone's kind of excited and all this stuff, and I do understand the excitement. I feel it as well because I don't want to keep waking up to bullshit every day about tariffs and reciprocal tariffs and all yada yada. There is still some negatives about this, and the fact that it is continuing with China like this is just not a great thing. And how many times in history have you seen trade wars turn into real wars? And I'm not saying that I think that's going to happen. I think it's obviously very unlikely that that happens, but you don't want to see tensions continue to rise. You don't want to see isolation continue, and it's not great. But from a great perspective, we are seeing, the fact that he is putting this 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs is it's great. It is the case because it's just not, you don't particularly, my opinion on the whole thing has pretty much remained the same, is that I don't particularly think it was necessary. I think evening the playing grounds a little bit, kind of leveling the grounds a little bit here, making things fair, sure. If somebody's been, say, ripping off the United States and we put a reciprocal tariff in place to even the ballpark out a little bit, cool. Like, I can't argue with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, why shouldn't we as the United States be on equal playing grounds as everyone else? I don't see a problem with that. But the problem is that the shit was just taken too far. And I think we can all agree with that. And let me know if you disagree with me. I'm super open to it. Listen, I'm not an economist. I'm just a dude who sits here fidgeting with toys and looking at charts all day. But I do believe that it was taken a little bit too far, and I have said that for a while, right? And this does feel like it's like, hey, listen, this is how bad shit can get if people don't start listening to what I'm trying to say. Like, that seems to be where he's going with. And it does feel as if this is going to put things in a better perspective because, listen, the harsh reality is this. By implementing these huge reciprocal tariffs and by implementing that, sure, there may be long-term benefits that come from that, but in the meantime, it is only going to put Americans, especially, and even people from other countries, quite frankly, the world, in a bit of a pickle. It's going to put it in an ugly spot. Mortgage rates are going to climb. You're going to see car loans climb. You're going to see interest rates climb. You're going to see day-to-day things climb. You're going to see companies slowing down in productions. It's going to crush small businesses who are sourcing from places like China, sourcing from places like Vietnam. I mean, you're going to see all these things happen. And so although there may be benefits of these reciprocal tariffs over the long term, the reality is that in the short term, people are going to get crushed. And everyday people like you and me are going to have to pay the price for the bullshit that's happening between our government and other governments. And I just don't think that's fair, right? I just don't particularly think that's fair. And I've been quite vocal about this, right? And so the fact that they are going and putting in this 90-day pause, it tells me that maybe the little guy maybe won't get crushed so much. Maybe we can start to see things just kind of relax a little bit. Maybe solutions can finally follow the bullshit that we've been seeing over the last week or two. And I am rather optimistic that this could start to push things in a bit of a more productive manner. And hopefully things start to sort themselves out. They usually do. I am an optimist in life. I do think, to my detriment sometimes, but I do genuinely believe that things usually sort themselves out. They usually work themselves out. I say it to our students all the time. I'm like, hey, at the end of the day, I know it feels bad and I know it feels scary, but the harsh reality, or the reality of this whole situation is that it's probably going to work itself out. How's that, track or journey going to look? I'm not sure. It might be fun. It might not be fun, but things will usually work themselves out. And I am rather optimistic that this could be the beginning of this whole situation starting to work itself out. Because last night we did have a rather scary moment. Right. When 10-year yields just took off up to, 30-year, I think up to 5% or very close. 10 years were climbing as well. It was rather scary. And I told you all a little bit about it, especially on the school and on Twitter or whatever. But we saw that happening. And that's because people were really getting concerned. What we saw last night was absolute panic. We saw the market start to really panic. The fact that we were starting to see such a huge de-risking of people just leaving some of their other assets and starting to just flock towards things like bonds and people, other countries most likely, and obviously a little bit of hedge fund manipulation, but dumping your bonds and seeing those yields climb as a result to meet the demand. I mean, that was the clearest sign, like, hey, this is like stuff starting to break now. Like, we're starting to actually see these things break. And if this continues and people continue to de-risk and we see liquidity start to become incredibly harder to access and interest rates climbing and mortgages back climbing and inflation's like, this is going to get very bad. Like, it's going to get very ugly. And I feel like this could be an opportunity to stop these things before they happen. And that would be the ideal scenario. Now, I am curious about how 10-year bond, let's see, 10-year Treasury yield has moved today. So still a little bit elevated today, but definitely stopped climbing, which is good to see. But overall, it does feel as if this is hopefully a step in the right direction, and maybe there can be some benefit from this. And so from a grand scheme of things, to kind of TLDR this for you, Trump just went in and he put a 90-day pause on reciprocal tariffs, and then subsequently it would be a 10%, which is much lower than it was before, on everyone except China. China's going up to 125%, so the trade war does continue there, but things are a little bit better, at least for 90 days, hopefully, across the landscape with other countries, as a result of countries basically just begging, like, hey, don't do this. Bit of a bully move, but what can you do? I mean, it's not my job. I just report on what I see, right? So that's kind of where we are with that in general. Now, I guess, how do I pivot off of that? So, kind of pushing forward, let me kind of give you my general thoughts, I suppose, on what to do now. Because now that, okay, we're in a situation, 90-day pause, what does this mean for crypto? There's a couple pieces I want to touch on, and I didn't plan this, to be honest. I just turned the stream on a second, I sat down. But the first big thing that I do want to kind of remind you of is that don't buy this shit too much, okay? Because there are still pieces of this that don't make a ton of sense, okay? Like, there are certain things, like, for example, World Liberty Financial sold Ethereum at a loss just a couple hours ago. Now, if you don't know who World Liberty Financial is, it's a portfolio company. They invest in different assets, especially some digital assets, hundreds of millions of dollars. And a majority stake was purchased by Trump's family last year. So indirectly, Trump sold Ethereum at a loss prior to releasing this, which he, I'm sure, knew would pump the market. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me, and it sits a little bit weird with me, to be honest. And so it makes me kind of just like I watch this from the sidelines, like kind of peeping it, like that's suspect, that's odd. Now, in addition to that, the reality of this whole situation is that oftentimes we get one thing one day and a completely different thing the next day, right? Like, you know, sadly, it could be him in 1 week from now saying, never mind, it's going into effect today because I didn't get what I want. Because hate him or love him, Trump is a little bit volatile, right? And expecting that this is just going to last for 90 days without any sort of volatility, of course, is a bit of a risk in itself as well. And so because of these different things, because of kind of some of the sticky stuff that doesn't make a ton of sense, and just knowing how our government has been within the last couple of months, and just knowing how Trump as a human is, this could still get volatile. It's not set in stone. And so I don't want you all to just start automatically assuming like, oh, we're back. This is it. This is the moment everything goes up, and just go ape everything that you have in right now. Because the reality is that just like this, it could change tomorrow, and we're back from square one, right? The reality is that every single time that we've seen anything positive happen in the market, especially within the last 4 months, it just is followed by something negative that's worse, and the market responds worse. And I'm not saying that's going to continue forever, because it won't continue forever, but at least understand that that has been happening, and it very well could still continue to happen. And so although this is bullish, and although this is a good thing, and I do feel like it's more fair for people like me and for people like you in the United States and other countries, there are still negative aspects of it, like what we're seeing with China, and the reality that nothing is really set in stone. Okay. And so because of all of these things, I do want to kind of show you some of the way that the market is performing. We are going to look at it from a more analytical perspective, but I wanted to start the stream off from more of a fundamental perspective and talk about what happened and my general theories and thesis about kind of where we are with all of this. And please do let me know if you guys agree. Again, I'm going to make it clear. Listen, I'm not an economist. I'm not a politician. I'm none of the sort. I'm just a dude in a room with the camera and a computer, right? So let me know if you guys agree, and please do provide your opinions and thoughts on this whole situation, because you never know if I might miss a piece. Okay. Now, let's kind of get the ball rolling. Let me just kind of double check in. Okay. So let's kind of move a bit onwards. So obviously, looking at the market, let's look at everything from a bit more of an analytical perspective. VOO, obviously, the S&P 500 pushing up 7.7% today. Boy, does that feel good, because guys, my stock portfolio is getting wrecked. I'm curious to see what the NASDAQ is doing right now also. Oh, look, we have it right here. Yeah, Dow Jones currently up 6.7%, NASDAQ up 9.9%. Absolute madness. Look at that. Like, erasing some of the gains, but not all, or erasing some of the losses, but not all of the losses. You know, a lot of people have gone so overboard already. Like, they're just freaking, they're getting so excited, and everybody's FOMOing in right now. And listen, I do understand the sentiment, because this is a good thing, especially in comparison to what we've been seeing. But the reality here is that we are still down. And if you look at something like crypto bubbles, even on the weekly, guys, we're still down. It's not like everything's just erased. It's not like what we've been seeing over the last week is just gone, or the last month is just gone. But things are moving in a bit of a better direction. One can definitely say that they're moving in a bit of a better direction. Now, looking at Bitcoin a little bit more specifically, we can really start to see that picture being painted. What we saw today was fantastic news. Very, very, very good news. I'm not going to lie. And if it does continue and persist, maybe the world is going to start to balance itself out a little bit. But the reality again here is that we've made some progress, but we're not like back yet, right? We can't go and say, oh, the bull market's back. We're going into the banana zone. Like everyone's going to be screaming on Twitter by now, I'm sure. But it's optimism, but we have to be careful because the reality here is that we're not back yet. We've made progress, but we're not back yet. And I kind of want to zoom in a little bit to Bitcoin specifically and show you what needs to happen now, right? Like, now that all of this has happened, and now that we've seen the 90-day pause and all this stuff, let me show you what needs to happen now. And it all really comes down to Bitcoin. As you all know, I believe the only really important chart to be looking at right now is Bitcoin. I mean, you look at the Altcoin season index, for example, we are very deep into Bitcoin season, deeper into Bitcoin season than we've been in a very, very long time. And what this means is that Bitcoin's in control of the market. When Bitcoin goes up, the market goes up. When Bitcoin go down, the market go down. Even sometimes when Bitcoin goes up, the market goes down. So Bitcoin is the best bet right now, at least in my opinion. You look at Bitcoin dominance, although down a little bit over the last couple of days, I mean, the general structure as of now is upwards. And until it breaks out of this ascending channel, Bitcoin is in control of the market. And that's why I believe it's so important to just focus on Bitcoin. And what we can see when looking at Bitcoin is that it's still within the descending channel. But it's actually very interesting to see how this is all played out. You see, I've told you all consistently what my strategy for descending channels is. I buy in the green box, I take profit in the red box, and I buy a lot in the green box, take profit in the red box. I do small dollar cost averages at the 50%, 25%, and within the 25% and the 0%. And you can see how this is played out. It's actually very cool to see. We did some buying in the green box. We took some profit in the red box. It came back down to the 50. We did some buying. We didn't take profit here. I didn't miss this one. And then it continued down into the green box where we did a purchase again here. All of this is valid. All of this is provable. Just go look at my channel. I'm not talking out my ass here. We push all the way back up to the red zone, which we took some profit, came back down, bounced back again, took some profit there. It goes all the way down to the 50% threshold. It hits the buy zone. We do some buying here. And again, I can prove this. I don't want you to think I'm just making stuff up. Look, here you go. So 4/6/7:23 p.m. I was buying Bitcoin as it hit that 50% threshold, and then it stays on the 50% threshold. And now what's it doing? It's pushing itself back up to the take profit zone. So I hope you guys can see, like, this descending channel strategy is, in my opinion, one of the easiest to make money. It's one of the easiest to make money. And the cool part about it is I don't take all the profit off the table in this red box. I take a good bit, but I save it because there will be a day, at least in my opinion, where Bitcoin breaks out of this descending channel. And all of these purchases that were in the green box and the 50% threshold, they're going to end up in profit. And so it's so fun to be able to show you guys this because I started talking about this descending channel strategy back here. I started talking about our strategy back here. And now it's played out and you've been able to see me do some buying here, do some taking profit here, do some buying here. And guess what? If it pushes into this red box, guys, I'm going to take some profit off the table. And it's so fun that we've been able to kind of share this with each other. And I know some of you have been following me. I don't encourage you to. I don't encourage you to copy me, but I know some of you do. And it is cool to kind of see you guys winning as well. It's a fun thing. And that just goes to show the importance of a strategy. Having these strategies in moments like this is what creates a winning investor. Over in the school, we define it as define a winning investor as someone who's confident and consistent. And these sort of strategies that we have, like that we've been using for the descending channel, that's where you get that consistency from. And yeah, it's great to see. So moving forward though, anyway, kind of what's next? Well, the next step for me here, in my opinion, is that we do need to see Bitcoin break out of this zone. It's just that simple. What you can see is that Bitcoin is still stuck within the descending channel. And I want to ask a question to the chat because I want to see who's paying attention. I want to ask like a yes or no question. Can we get excited, or let's say very excited, about the crypto market while Bitcoin is in a descending channel? That's all I want to know. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Can we get excited about what's happening right now while Bitcoin's in a descending channel? Let me know before I move on. Right. You guys get it. Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. Great stuff. Great stuff. Great stuff. Okay, so you get the point. While Bitcoin is in here, everything we're seeing has been traps. Every single thing, every bullish moment that we've had, guys, since January has been a trap. This, a trap. This, a trap. This, a trap. And the reality of it is that until this bad boy breaks out, this might be a trap. Trump might change his mind tomorrow, and next thing you know, we're heading down to that green zone, because trust me, if he goes back on what happened today, the amount of screw this, I'm out that's going to happen as people leave this space to head over to treasury bonds, stuff like that, it's going to be nasty. And we're going to see crypto just, I'm talking, we're going to send it down here. Mark my words. Mark my words. And so right now, in a moment like this, yes, it's okay to be optimistic, but what you can't do is get too far ahead of yourselves. Not while we're in the descending channel. And it sucks, and I feel so terrible for us, but you guys specifically who are new to this space, because you poor guys have gone from being in an HMZ to a descending channel, right? So it's like the two shittiest situations ever. Like, you're in an HMZ. Shout out to Mr. Nibbles. HMZ. I don't know if he's in here or not, but shout out to you. Like, you have the HMZ that's sitting right here, which is just buy low, sell high, and don't do anything else. And then you leave out of that by entering into a descending channel, which is like another version of an HMZ. And it's like, dang, dude, like, this sucks, you know what I mean? But the reality of it is, listen, it's just the game that we play. But the beautiful part about it is that we've been able to get these dollar cost averages to the bottom of the HMZ. We've been able to get these dollar cost averages to the bottom of the descending channel. And it puts us in a spot to where, when we do see this market run, because it will run one day. Guys, Bitcoin's gonna hit $130,000 one day. We've been able to get some beautiful entries based on these ranges because we've traded them with a strategy. We've traded them for a reason. And you know, that's the best that we can do. But for the time being, okay, until we get up there, what you need to be looking for is this. I don't want any of you to get super optimistic. I don't want you to get super excited. I don't want you to open up huge leverage long trades. I don't want you to do gigantic purchases, guys, until we're out of this. Because at any given point, before you know it, we're just absolutely sending back to the downside, and things will continue to get ugly from there, okay? So the next step from here, now that we've gotten some pretty good news, and things have seemed pretty decent, and the market is pumping today, is to be realistic and don't get too far ahead of yourselves. Because if I do have to guess, if I go look at this liquidation map, I could probably guess what's happening here. Yeah, I mean, you see it. Look at what's happening. Everyone is betting so big right now that Bitcoin is back, and we're about to go into it. Look at this, $3.5 billion in liquidations if Bitcoin goes back to $73,000. Now, that will be hard to do because we actually are seeing some pretty good news in the market. But if Bitcoin does come back down here, guys, billions of dollars in liquidations will happen. And this means that everybody's super optimistic. They're super excited. They're pumping those bags up, hoping that this is the moment that everything gets good. And that is a risk. Now, the beautiful part about it is that, as you can see here on the 7-day, and as you can see really here on the 30-day, is that they're not going too far. Right? People are getting optimistic. They're getting a little far ahead of themselves, but they're not doing it too much, which is a great sign of maturity from the market. Because on the 7-day, there are still more liquidations to the upside that will happen within the close $1,000. I mean, if Bitcoin pushes just to 85,000, that's $3.3 billion on the 7-day. You look at the 30-day, if this bad boy pushes to 89,000, that's $6 billion. So there are still billions of dollars in liquidations of people that will lose if this market continues upward. And generally speaking, the market will move in the direction in which momentum is pushing towards, and also where the most amount of liquidations are. So although people are betting big right now, they're not getting too far ahead of themselves. We've not seen a complete overlap of all of our liquidations here. And I want you to stay to that as well. I don't want you to get too crazy. I don't want you to do huge purchases right now unless you're willing to take the short-term risk. Because the short-term risk here is that we're going to see crypto pull back a little bit off of this and then try to decide whether or not it makes another run for a breakout, or if the political landscape gets ugly again, and then it just nukes. Okay? You need to be willing to go through all of this if you are doing big purchases right now. But my general process or thought process is very simple. Don't do anything. We did our buying on the DCA zone. Guys, we were buying at the bottom of this micro move. Look at that. I mean, it's beautiful stuff. Like, we're getting purchases in right here. No need to force it now. Why? Right? We bought here. We bought here. We bought up there. We bought a little bit on the back test there. We were buying in these moments in the better half of this zone. Why be buying right next to the top? It doesn't make a ton of sense. Now, in the same breath, no, I'm not shorting right now, right? I'm not going to be shorting because the reality is that, listen, we might just see this bad boy break out of here. Look, if the political landscape continues to clear up a little bit, we very well might see Bitcoin finally give us that breakout. I don't short during bear market or during bull markets. I don't think it's a smart thing to do for my own personal investment strategy. And I'm definitely not going to be shorting when we've actually had a reason to be pumping like this. So no, I'm not shorting right now, but I'm also just not going long and I'm not buying. I'm just letting this happen. And if we do push into this red zone, I am going to take some profits off the table, guys. That's just what I'm going to do. And you might say, Tyler, that's stupid. What if it breaks out? Okay, great. What if it doesn't? Because the reality is, I've taken profits here, I've taken profits here, I've taken profits here, and I've taken profits here. And every single time I take profits in this red zone, people in the comments say, you're so dumb, it's going to break out. This is the moment we break out. And then guess what? It hasn't. And so am I going to continue to play that game? Of course I'm not. If we get to the red box, I'm taking more profits off the purchases that I did down here, and I'll play that out. And if we finally get a breakout, I'll readjust my strategy, get rid of my descending channel strategy for now, and I'll plan my next move while we're now outside of this because I do have a descending channel breakout strategy. You guys know I have strategies for everything, guys. I'm prepared for every form of this market. And that's why we've been able to capitalize and lock in profit while the market has been falling. It's been amazing. And so that's the next step of this, okay? The next step is to let's see. Can this bad boy finally make that move? Can it finally clear that red box or can it not? That's the next game plan. Now, before we do shift gears here a little bit in the channel or on the video, I do want to, of course, let you guys know everything that I do is based on strategy. And I've said it over and over and over again, consistently, right? And the reason why I have these strategies is because I'm under the belief that having a strategy is the only true way that you can win in the crypto market. It's too chaotic, right? This and then this and then this. It's just too much. There's too much volatility. And if you're someone who's just been feeling, I'm talking to you, specifically you who's felt like you're just not, there's something missing, like there's a piece of it you're just missing. It's probably your strategy. It's probably that your strategy is missing some crucial elements that would make it finalized or finished or not perfect, but much closer to perfection than you are now, right? And so if that is someone that, or if you're someone who can relate to that, what I want you to do is I want you to head to the link down below and I want you to go check out the Crypto Strategy School, okay? What we do in the school is we take crypto investors like yourselves and we give you the tools that you need to create those strategies. Because like I've told you a million times, winning investors are built off strategies and nothing else, really. And I define a winning investor as someone who's confident, someone who is consistent. So when I was going in and I was purchasing Bitcoin right here, guys, while the market was falling and everybody was scared, screaming that the world was ending and blah, blah, blah. The reason I was confident to do that purchase right here at 77,000, I mean, look at this. Look what was happening when I bought. The reason I was confident enough to do it is because of my strategy. And I consistently can win over a long period of time because of that strategy. And so if you want to be a winning investor, someone who's confident, someone who's consistent, go check out the link to the school down below. And the best part about it is that if you don't see growth within the first few hours, we'll just give you your money back. Easy as. Okay. So go check out the link down below. It's available for you right down there. Okay. Now, shifting gears a little bit, what I want to do is I want to actually take a dive into the altcoins because I'm curious. What you can see is that Bitcoin dominance is showing some signs of weakness right now. We put in this big top, this big high, and now it's been pulling back a little bit. And as it's pulling back, we have to remember, hey, Bitcoin dominance is in an ascending channel that I believe is going to break down at some point, which means at some point, I think altcoins are going to try to outperform Bitcoin. Whenever you also pair that up with the fact that we've now also seen, look at this, higher high, high, higher high, high, lower high as of now. The fact that we are seeing bearish divergence right now, while Bitcoin dominance is pushing into the top side of this ascending channel, it makes me feel as if there's a chance altcoins for some reason start outperforming Bitcoin. And that reason, guys, could be this. This could be the thing that starts sparking it. Look at what's happening today. Look at how HBAR, Hype, Aave, so many things are pushing 15 to 20%. Fartcoin, for God's sake, is up 30%. And so I think it's actually a good idea to maybe just turn our eyes a little bit towards what is happening with altcoins. So the first thing we're going to look at is total 2. Okay. If you don't know what total 2 is the total market cap of cryptos, or the total market cap of crypto minus Bitcoin. So it's just the total market cap of altcoins. And look at what's happening. Do you see how it's in a descending channel? As a matter of fact, I can make this a parallel descending channel now that we have this additional boom, boom. Look at this, guys. Very interesting stuff here. Bam, bam. Let's bring you down a bit. So what's happening right now is that as we are seeing Bitcoin dominance entering into a structure that should break down, total 2, the total market cap of altcoins, is putting itself in a structure that historically will break upwards. And so what this means to me is that we need to be paying very close attention to alts. Because if the altcoin market can work itself up and break out of this descending channel, I actually think there's a decent chance that we get some relief here. That we finally maybe even see the altcoin market try to make a run back up to say that's golden zone, right? Maybe we see the altcoin market give us a beautiful push of 30%. I think that's reasonable. I don't think that's an unreasonable thing. And if the political landscape can continue to clear up, I think this is a very reasonable thing to assume very well might happen. And so what am I doing right now? Well, again, I'm not really doing much, but I am starting to open my eyes up to altcoins because the reality is, guys, I haven't even looked at alt. I don't care about alts. I've been focused on Bitcoin and it's been doing us wonders. Me only looking at Bitcoin for the last month or two has been great because why? Because Bitcoin's outperforming everything. So by not buying these altcoins to buy Bitcoin has actually saved us a lot of money if we'd have just been buying alts. But the shift that I'm making now that I'm seeing this loss of strength and seeing what's happening with Total 2 and seeing again what's happening with Bitcoin dominance and what's happening with the altcoin season index is that we need to start paying attention to alts. Because alts might have their moment and their moment might come sometime soon where they actually give us some sort of relief and they actually try to outperform for a little while. And I know I'm getting a little bit far ahead of myself because again, the reality is that, well, if Bitcoin gets rejected here and heads back down, alts ain't going a damn place. But if Bitcoin can give us this breakout, guys, just give us the damn breakout. If it can give us the breakout, and if alts can finally make this move above this descending channel, I see a little bit of progress there. I think a 25, 30% move for altcoins could be on the horizon under the right given circumstances. Under the right circumstances, okay? And so with that in mind, I saw an interesting comment. I want to address it real quick. Someone said, no way, if you're better off with just Bitcoin, who is this guy? You will never even get another 10x. What I've been saying is, because you missed the point, flew right over your head, was that looking at Bitcoin dominance, the fact that we were only investing into Bitcoin in the short term has served us well because Bitcoin has outperformed altcoins. Bitcoin has done better than altcoins. So us focusing on Bitcoin has saved us money. Lock in a little bit. But that's the point. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to look at some alts, okay? And we're going to look at them from a macro perspective and start plotting out maybe what the move is here. So when I look at something like Ethereum, what's happening with ETH? Okay. So when I look at ETH, what's happening here? Very simple stuff. So I want to see, I can eyeball this and I see something happening right here. Okay, but I'm curious if those of you who are in the chat can see what I see. Because we've talked about this thing that I'm seeing a ton. Do you see what's happening right now? What's happening with this move specifically? What's happening right here? Let's see. Someone's going to get it. I got you. I'm sure, I'm confident in you guys. Someone's going to be able to eyeball this and see that something's happening. High or low? Yep, that's close. That's very close. Good. Descending channel, almost. Not particularly. Level of resistance. No, not yet. Come on. Someone's going to see it. Someone's going to see it. I'm going to give you a hint. We're retracing. Oh, there you go. Fantastic. So, look, I might be wrong, and it'll be embarrassing if I'm wrong. But when I eyeball this, what I can see is, boom. Look at what's happening with Ethereum right now. Yeah, so okay. Sorry, I'm glad my eyes are clear. Glad I got my glasses on. So what's happening with ETH is that as Bitcoin dominance seems to be losing a little bit of momentum, just a little bit of strength. Okay. And as we're seeing Total 2 in a descending channel, maybe trying to give us a breakout, especially off of this level of liquidity here, Ethereum is trying to build up a support zone now on the golden zone. And so what this means is that we have a chance. We have a chance here. If we can continue to see the political landscape progressing and things getting better and the economy getting better, inflation not being so sticky, all of these things happening, ETH might find that support that it needs here. And if that is the case, maybe we see a bit of a move. So my thesis, my thinking here is that if we do see total 2 breakout, then I might go in and might buy a little ETH. Now, the reality is, guys, I don't really like ETH that much. Matter of fact, I'm actually not doing much buying on ETH at all anymore. And I made a full video about why I'm kind of done buying Ethereum. But it would be hard to ignore this. It'd be hard to ignore the fact that ETH is building up support on a major support level at a time where we could possibly be preparing for a breakout for the crypto market. So I wouldn't buy a lot, and I'm kind of done buying a lot of Ethereum, but I would do a little bit of purchasing here, just a tiny amount once we do get this breakout from total 2. Okay. Now, going forward. And I do want to put the asterisks on all of this. I'm not doing anything, any of this. I'm not buying anything while Bitcoin's in the descending channel. Please don't forget that. I'm not buying anything while Bitcoin's in the descending channel. I'm purely preparing for what could be on the horizon. Because a good trader isn't reactionary. A good trader responds and is prepared for the response. What I mean by that is I'll say, okay, if this happens, then I'll do that. If this happens, then I'll do that. And a lot of people in crypto look at that as saying, oh, you're saying it can go up or down. Of course. Crypto at any given point can go up or can go down, and I can't predict that. Neither can you and neither can anyone. But what we can do is say, on a realm of possibilities, this is a very possible thing that may happen. This is a very possible thing that may happen. How do I prepare for it so when it does happen, either this way or that way, I can respond in the appropriate way? And so although, no, I'm not buying Ethereum right now, I'm saying if Bitcoin breaks out, I'll buy a little bit of Ethereum because it's built that support level on the golden zone. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. It's preparation to proper responsiveness, not just reaction. I don't like reacting. I think reacting is one of the worst things that you can do in the crypto market. I think responding, okay, of course, proper response, totally fine. Reaction is saying, okay, I'm mad. Now I'm going to, I don't know what that was, but we're going to stick to it. Anyway, that fucked me up. I ain't gonna lie. But again, yeah, reacting. Like reacting is a bad thing. You don't want to just react to stuff. You want to respond properly. And that's my goal. Okay. And so whenever, again, I look at something like ETH, that's one that I would be doing a little bit, of, DCAing on. Now pushing into Solana. Solana's in a bit of a different situation. Solana's came back down and Solana is not in a great spot. I'm not going to lie, guys, right? What you can see is that Solana actually had the golden zone and then lost the golden zone. And when you lose the golden zone, you usually continue lower, which is what it did. So for Solana, I'm kind of looking at this bad boy like, all right, Solana's going to have to make some progress. Solana's going to need to be able to push back above this golden zone. It's going to have to clear 150 before I can start getting really confident in it. And so although I do really like Solana, what you got to understand, Solana's doing something called a back test, which is when you have this huge level of support. Let me just clear all this real quick. Look, Solana had all this support right here. You see this? It had all this support down here. And what it's doing right now is it's falling below it. Now it's back testing to see if it can get back above it. If it can get back above it, yeah, Solana might make another move. Now, obviously, some people are going to talk about this. I see it. I'm not worried about it for now. But I want to see if Solana can start making progress. And so while Solana's below, say, $130, I'm not really all that excited about it. I'm not that interested in it because it lost the golden zone. It lost that macro level of support. And it's going to be much harder for Solana because of all of this bearish liquidity that sat directly above it. And so for Solana, not as interested because it lost a major level of support, right? Got to be all right with those types of things. Okay, pushing forward, look at something like Sui. Okay, hey, this is a different story than those ones, though. This was a different story, so let's just kind of get rid of this. What's happening with Sui right now? Sui's very similar to ETH, but in a bit of a different way. What we can see here is that Sui came back down to this macro level of resistance, which we have right here, right here, right here. And it's now trying to flip this resistance level into some support. Now, is this going to hold? Guys, I got no idea. The whole point of this is to not try to be right. I'm not trying to guess. I'm just trying to be prepared. And so when I look at something like Sui, I would actually be willing to say, yeah. I mean, the reality is that if Sui can build up some support, this is what's called an RS flip, a resistance to support flip. And if we can see Bitcoin break out, if we can see total 2 break out, if we can see the market move in the right direction, if we can see this stay up, if all of this stuff happens, I don't think Sui's in a bad spot. I think Sui's actually in a decent time to be doing some buying if we get those things to happen. So what am I going to do? I'm going to be prepared. And if we get that breakout for Bitcoin, if we get that breakout for Total 2, if all this stuff keeps looking good for, of course, the tariffs, yeah, I'm going to go in. I'm going to buy a little bit of Sui. And sure, I might end up buying it up here. Guys, I don't care. I don't care if I bought it here, if I bought it here. If my goal is to see Sui hit to $10, I ain't gonna care if I bought it at $2.08 or $2.40. It doesn't make a difference to me. I look for confirmations prior to doing my purchases, and if that means I sacrifice some gains to, of course, protect myself from risk, don't care. So I'm going to be waiting on Sui, but Sui is one that I would be interested in doing some buying because it's doing such a good job of maintaining support on top of a macro level of resistance, possibly giving us the RS flip. Okay. Looking at XRP. XRP. Okay, what's happening here? So let's just kind of get rid of everything for now and just kind of look at this from a macro perspective. Very interesting stuff here. So look what XRP did, right? Look what XRP did. Boom. XRP had a resistance here, broke above it, came back down, support, lost it for a second, but guess what? XRP community came in strong. Those bulls did their job. They came in, they pushed XRP's price back above this previous point of resistance, so what could be a fake out into a support. Now, what you could also consider is that this may actually be, if we go to the dailies and then we look at this, some would say, and I would agree to some degree, that you could be looking at some sort of more macro triangle, which I think is pretty cool because you don't see these super often, not on the big ones. And so what that would also imply is that XRP could be setting itself up for a possible move to the upside now that it has fallen 51%. 51% is a gnarly correction. And when you consider the fact that it nearly got to that oversold zone here on the dailies, it got all the way down to this 50% threshold on the money, on the RSI, on the weeklies, yeah, maybe XRP has had enough. Maybe this has been enough of a pullback. And it's obviously not guaranteed yet. There's a lot that needs to happen in the market. But XRP is another one that I think, yeah, if the market turns around and if we're put in the proper situation, then yeah, maybe we do see XRP start trying to push out of here. Maybe this is some sort of bullish flag and maybe it tries to continue back up to $5. I don't know, but it's possible. So XRP is another one I would be willing to do a little DCAing on now that, again, it's seen that huge correction of over 50%. Okay, look at something like just ADA. And I'm not going to do all of them. I just want to kind of show you guys some key stuff here. ADA is another great one. Look at this. Let's just get rid of all this for a second. What you can see here is that ADA has this level of support right there. Then it has one directly above it. And so ADA has kind of like this level of support right here. Huge level of support. And what's happening? As we're starting to see a possible reversal from the market, ADA is currently sitting on a macro support level. Now, I would be a little bit more concerned about ADA because it does have this ascending level of support, which will act as a magnet. And again, it still has this macro level of golden Fibonacci support, which is still around 44 cents. So considering the fact that ADA didn't come all the way down to this support level like most cryptos did, it does make me concerned that it might see one more pull downwards before trying to run, but it is worth at least paying attention to. And so ADA, in my opinion, considering it is on this micro golden zone, yeah, I think it's a decent one to get some small bids in if we do see the market enter the proper scenario. But it's not one I would be doing huge buys on because, again, there is still distance between where we are, macro support level, if that makes sense. Alrighty, looking at a few more here. What do y'all want to see? Let's see. Any Ondo is a good one. Yeah, we'll look at Ondo real quick. That doesn't look like Ondo. Yeah, there we go. Alrighty. Do I need to say anything here? What's this called? What's this thing that just happened here? What's this called? Grass. Give it to me. I know somebody's going to get it. Golden pocket. Beautiful, Curtis. Great stuff. Very good, Curtis. So, yeah. Ondo's in the golden zone. This is a great setup, guys. And it's kind of like a make it or break it. You know, seemingly, with so many of your big altcoins and cryptos in a major support zone like this, it's kind of a make it or break it. If we continue to see the market progressing as a result of the reciprocal tariff pause and all this stuff, we actually might see altcoins start pushing out of these macro support levels and give us 20-30% in gainers to actually break out of that total 2 descending channel we were in, something like that. But if we don't, And if things do get ugly, if Trump does cancel this pause or whatever, it wouldn't shock me to see the floor fall out from most of these things and actually start to get really ugly from there. So funnily enough, as we've been doing this analysis together, it's starting to paint a picture to me that this is a make it or break it moment for crypto. Like, if Ondo comes back and loses this level of support, guys, it opens the door for not only just a move to what could be 50 cents, you could be looking at a move to 33 cents as a result of your Fibonacci downside extension. That's scary stuff, right? I mean, that's another possible move for Ondo to the downside of over 60%. And so it's very important we're watching what's happening here very closely. We're watching to see how Bitcoin handles this descending channel. We're watching to see how Total 2 handles this descending channel. You pay attention to what's happening with Trump in the economy. You pay attention to all these things because this is a moment of truth for the crypto market, and the future of, what the next couple months or the rest of this year looks like could rely on what happens in this move right now. And I'm not saying that is a for sure thing, but it does seem more and more to me as if this move is incredibly important and more important than people even recognize. Very exciting stuff here. Very exciting stuff here. Very good. Alrighty. And out of curiosity, there you go. There you go. Fucking Trump. Fart coin. Whatever. Fart coin might push back up to $1, but I will never admit that. So screw it. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are. Okay, let me give you the TLDR, and then what I want to do in the last 20 minutes of the stream, just do a quick, I want to do just a quick Q&A session with you. So before we get into that, I will let you guys know, I'm only for the next 30 seconds talking to those of you who are experienced traders. If you're a beginner, plug your ears, don't listen, not for you. Leave it alone, okay? But if you are someone who is experienced, you know what you're doing, there's only 6 days left for the campaign that I have with Phemex right now, in which if you do sign up, they're going to give you a ton of bonuses. $50 for signing up, a 500 USDT bonus, which is a 20% on your first deposit, capped at $500, and then $150 for just $1 million in trading volume, which you guys know that's not hard to do at all, and the thousands more dollars. Guys, you can get $2,600 in bonuses and rewards for signing up, depositing, and doing like a little bit of trading. It's not a lot at all. It's a crazy good deal. And again, I only have 6 days left on it. They can't do this forever because, again, it's just too good of a deal. So if that is something that is interesting to you, I do have the link to Phemex linked down in the description below. It's a fantastic platform. One of the best that I've traded on before. I mean, look how smooth it is. Like, look how clean, look how sleek. It has isolated cross margin. It has everything you need. So that's available for you down below. And lastly, before we do the TLDR again, I will also let you know, if you are someone who is beginner in crypto, so unplug your ears now, there is a link down below to my second YouTube channel, which is Tyler Teaches Crypto. And what I do on this channel is I talk about strategy, I talk about tools, resources, indicators, everything that I've learned over the last 7 years that have helped me get to the point that I am in crypto today, and which I have been blessed, of course, to be able to bring in 7 figures as an investor and a businessman in the world of crypto. And so if that's interesting to you, the link to that is down below as well. Now, TLDR of everything that we did talk about today, if you are just kind of joining in, if you are new, Trump did go in and put a 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariffs that he was putting on everyone, basically. And of course, substantially lowered the reciprocal tariff during this period to 10%. Now, the only person who's excluded from that is China, who is going up to 125% because Trump is in a trade war with him, as he does. And yeah, so as a result of this, of course, the crypto community, the stock community, everyone in general is optimistic that this could be the beginning of a new turn here in the world, quite frankly, and maybe a step in the right direction in terms of this huge trade war and all this craziness that's been going on. So as a result of that, we are seeing many of your different assets really pumping right now, all of the altcoins, because we're entering more into what could be a more risk-on environment, as well as, of course, things like the NASDAQ, VOO, S&P 500, Russell 2000, NYSE, and many more. So that's why the market's pumping today. I am starting to pay a little bit more of attention to your altcoins, but I'm not focused on them still quite yet, because the reality is that until Bitcoin breaks out of this descending channel that it's been in, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to see any progress. It's not going to see anything actually good while we're in this structure. So I need to see it break the structure before I can actually get super optimistic and start making big moves. So that's the TLDR. What I would like to do is I would like to shift into a bit of a Q&A. Feel free to ask me some questions. I'll be here for the next 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go run. I got to bring my dog to the vet for her vet appointment. So I'm going to jump off here and go do that. So hopefully you guys did enjoy. So let me know if you have any questions, and let's go ahead and wrap this thing on up here. Okay. So could be the trigger to a bull run already, but that 90 days seems worrisome. Could be another huge dump. Agreed. And you know, May, June, July. You know, summertime usually sucks. So this pause ending in summer is worrisome, but we'll get there when we get there. So theoretically, that 20 to 25% pump is the altcoin season, then it's over. Or are you thinking more of a relief rally and the 4-year cycle still in play? My general thinking is that we'll at least get that 20 to 25% pump if this continues, and then we'll find out. Right? Because remember, we still got summertime coming up. We still have the end of this year. We still have inflation. Like, there's still stuff happening outside of tariffs that we need to be aware of. But I think as a result of what we're seeing from tariffs, we can at least see that 20, 25% move up to that golden zone for something like Total 2, and then really decide what the future looks like. So I'm only thinking about it from a short-term perspective, midterm at most, because the reality is long-term is still super foggy, super vague, and no one can really get an understanding of what the rest of this year is going to look like for now. So very possible we continue into a bullish cycle, bullish season for crypto, but let's take it steps at a time, if that makes sense. Consider doing live scalp trading, not too high leverages. I will one day. I'm just not there right now. I'm still not leverage trading. I haven't leverage traded in months and months and months, and it saved me a lot of money, honestly. So glad I haven't. Volk or Diego? I'm going Volk. I'm going to go Volk. I'll tell you about that later. All right. Should we take a bit of profit now? Yeah, I think it's a great time to take profit. I mean, you're looking at altcoins up 15, 20%. Yeah, take some profits off the table. Don't let anyone convince you not to. If you feel like you should, if you're asking that question, the answer is probably yes, right? The answer is probably yes. What's the top of the channel for today? The top of the channel, the Bitcoin channel for today is $85,816. Where do you do your swaps? I have a bunch of different places. I do it over a bunch of different exchanges and stuff. I don't really keep much money on one place. I have a bunch. Fed tomorrow, what if bad news? I think that people look at the Fed as a lagging indicator. And so even if the Fed comes out with something bad tomorrow, I think people are going to be like, don't care. You're not taking into account what happened yesterday. So I'm not super worried about what the Fed says, but I'll be on live stream talking to you guys about it tomorrow. What do you think about a close on Bitcoin above 83,333? It'd be great. It'd be very good. It'd be very good. It'd be a step in the right direction. Wouldn't be a confirmation for me, but it would be a step in the right direction. Why investing those tariffs if canceling them on the next day? Investors like it. Don't know, to be honest. Leverage. Do you ever play or have any interest in crypto games? Have you come across My Lovely Planet? It's like Candy Crush, but with crypto integration. No, not really. Don't really have a reason for you. I just never really have, honestly. What's your average S&P price, if you can say? Pretty bad. I'm not going to lie. I only had maybe, I'm going to just be honest with you guys. I've been trying to be a little bit more transparent about these things because I know you guys want to hear it. I had maybe 10, 20, 30K in the S&P 500 or something like that, basically forever. I have retirement accounts, but I don't look at that the same way. I had never really invested in individual stocks up until November or so, roughly. Like individual stocks, I mean that in the sense of me doing it myself. I have a financial advisor basically who handles all my retirement account stuff. That's different. But me personally investing into stuff like S&P 500, I maybe had like 20, 30,000 in that for like the last couple of years, and it slowly climbed over time, obviously. And then in November and December, when I started taking some profits from crypto, it wasn't a ton of profit, but I started taking profits. I did shift like $90,000 out of crypto into S&P 500, and then we're doing a real estate deal as well, in which that's like $100,000 deal for a 41 plex. Just a portion of it, obviously. 41 plex, like $2 million. Anyway, and so because I put in like $90,000 into the S&P 500 like over the span of just a couple months, my average cost is fucking high, bro. Like it's I'll tell you, I'm not too concerned about it. I only get weird when it comes to crypto stuff, but yeah, my average cost on the S&P 500 is... Shit, I think my phone just died. That sucks. No, it's not dead. $505. So like I'm almost at a break even because I put so damn much in. But like you can even see on a day like today, it's just wild the moves. Like the fact that S&P 500 position is up 7.6% is just dumb. Like it's just dumb, honestly. So it's crazy, but I do plan on pushing that up to a $250,000 position over the next month or so. So I guess we'll see from there. It just sucks. So my average cost is so goddamn high. But I just need to get rid of cash. I'm tired of having cash. Cash sucks. Okay. Were you doing some buys yesterday? No, I haven't bought. The last time I did a purchase was April 6th, which was 3 days ago, at $77,000 for Bitcoin right here. Right there. Is that a tangent ring? No, it's an Aura ring. I really, really, really like Aura rings. Well, I made 4 decent buys, 75 flat, a 76, and a 71. Very good. Very nice. Good stuff. Told you, man, as soon as this lizard stew done cooking in my mom's pressure cooker, the market is pumping. Golden Fibonacci lines to the moon. My Jesus, Davis. Me too. I've been much, much bigger into the stock world. It's so much more fun, in my opinion, than crypto because it's not as stressful. Like, it's just purely data driven. I love it. Do you think it's wise to buy now or wait until 90 days is over? And if a good deal isn't made, it could tank again. So much is going to happen between now and 90 days, and it's going to get front run. And like, I'm always just an advocate for just get your time in. Like, it's with the stock market. Like, when I put like 90 G's into the stock market in December, and I was like, fuck, dude, like I should probably just spread this out. And realistically, if I would have got a better average cost. I'd have been buying more over the last week or so, or the last couple of weeks. But it's not how I played it, right? My play is always just get your time in, just start buying. Long term, it's going to go where it's going to go anyway. You'll make your money anyway. So I'm an advocate for just buying in. But in a situation like we're in right now with crypto, I'm not waiting that long, but I am waiting to buy again until Bitcoin either breaks this red box, gets out of the descending channel, or comes back down to my DCA zone. I'm going Ian Gary. I think Ian Gary's going to beat him. Eric Trump said buy, which meant sell short. Now Trump is saying buy and Bitcoin pumps. So we'll see. When did you quit your full-time job for this? 2021? Yeah, 2021. I dropped out of college and then quit my job. Can you show your settings on the channel feature on TradingView? Yeah. This is just a channel that I drew in myself. What I do is I use the parallel channel structure, which is this. You come here, you come here. And what I do is you can draw in a parallel channel, just like this, and I make it gray, like so. And then I'll go into the 50% line, which is that dotted line in the middle, and I'll draw it in like this. Now that gives me my 50% line, and it gives me my 25% line. And then I'll go in and I draw on this 25% line, which is just 50 of the 50, and then I make this one green. And then what I'll do is I'll go into your top 10%, like so. Shit. Sorry, not like that. Like so. And then I'll drag it to your 10%, and then I'll make that red. Boom. And that's how I do them. I like HBAR. I like it. I don't love it, obviously, but I do like it a lot. I think it's a great one. In a bit of a pickle right now in between these macro resistance and support levels. So I don't love it for a purchase, but I need to see it be able to make some progress. What I will say though is I do like to see that it is you can kind of see the story playing out here as well. You know. So looks okay. Not bad. Yeah, that's a rough one. I feel you. I feel the pain. I think these pumps on fake real news just show the market wants to go up, but it's scared for now. I would agree. I would actually agree with that. My back just lifted from the pits of hell. Of course not, man. We have to break through and retest, or we're just going to bounce back to lower levels. Yep, exactly. Agreed. I just buy VOO. I don't buy anything else, and I'm not a stock guy. I don't recommend listening to me on stock advice. I learned so much from 2022 that I was just now starting to go in heavy and position my buys. Today, I can happily take profits and wait for a further dip or higher high. Shout out to Alex. Give me a W for Alex. Let me start. W, Alex. I love to hear it. Very good. If things are up 20% like that, I won't buy until it retraces. Very strong. If I had 10K in cash right now, I would just start buying a little bit of Bitcoin, mostly Bitcoin, like 80, 90%, and start putting 10, 15%, 10, 15, 20% in that into the high level alts, like your XRP, Solanas, yada, yada. Slowly, though. I wouldn't be doing it all at once. And not really right now either. I'd let Bitcoin break that descending channel. Yeah, no, they haven't launched yet, I believe, just because market conditions are bad. I haven't looked into it because I just assume they're not going to launch until things get good and stay good. Shoot. Where did you go for your honeymoon? I went to Punta Sam by Cancun. Very, 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 very fun. And then we went to Disney World for like part 2 of the honeymoon, and we're going to Japan at the end of the year as well. So it's kind of like the 3 parts of the honeymoon. We wanted to do 3 different types of things. We went to a relaxing place, an exciting place, and then like an in-between place in Japan. Super excited. What cryptos do you love? I love Solana. I really, really like Sui. Those ones. Love Bitcoin, obviously. It still blows my mind that you're 23. What's your birthday? My birthday is not too far from now. I don't like saying my birthday because people start like getting weird with my personal information. But it's not too far from now. I turn 24 soon-ish. So, yeah. I sold everything before the news today like a noob. Am I too late to buy back? If you buy back now, you're just chasing it. If I was you, I'd probably just buy it back, but it's probably going to retrace or fall at some point soon. And then you're going to go negative and you're going to freak out again. But stop selling everything and buying everything all at once. You got to strategize. Yeah, of course it is. That's fantastic. 3 nines. That's amazing. Very good. Very good work. Very good stuff. That's great. All right. Get back up to the current ones. Do you gold? I don't have any gold right now. I would like to get some. I just don't really know where to start, to be honest. Yeah. Hey, Tyler, do you think Pepo will recover to something like the 1500 level? Probably one day. It's going to be a long journey. The first major level is 11445. The topside golden zone. This one up here. It needs to get up there first. I'm not even thinking about 15 until it hits that. During relief rally, it's okay to simply DCA the lows to lower low overall, as opposed to selling at a higher low and buy back. Okay, during relief rally, okay to simply DCA the lows to lower overall average, as opposed to selling at a higher low and buy back in at a lower low. Yes. Are you still fighting? No, I'm done. I'm done. Your boy is retired. I'm happily retired. The only way I'll come out of it is if they give me something fun, like Alex Becker or something on a influencer fight thing. I'll do that for funsies, like the experience. Who gets to say they've done that before? But in terms of just normal fights, I'm done, man. I'm happily retired. I like the potential in silver right now. Now the GSR is mega. I'm so just not tuned on any of it. My favorite meme coin would probably be Pepe if I had to guess, or Brett, one of those. How did you get so good at trading at a young age? Well, I'm still growing. I'm good for where I am, but I know people way better than me. But I'm obsessed, man. I've been staring at charts all goddamn day, every day since 2018, 2019. So you put 5 or 6 years into something every single day. You watch YouTube about it. You're in the shower listening to it. You drive into the gym listening to it. You're gonna get good. It's just what happens. You have to. I'd fight him. I'd fight the guy. I'm pretty down for that. Oh, God. What are they doing? Oh, my school community are psychopaths, dude. Turn on my fan here. You boys sweating. Bitcoin. Let's see what the school's doing. Bitcoin. ADA. Very good, Jay. Very, very nice. Look at that. $300 gain, just like that. Wonder how long that was open for. Oh my goodness. What are you doing? 10x long on Fartcoin, 1600% gainer is just gosh. Chris, what the hell? 300% gainer, fantastic. Good stuff there. 26%, very nice. See 6% long. See, you get it, Muggle. You're my guy. Or gal. 180% gainer there, very nice. Fuck's sake, Jason. 30x long on Fartcoin. What is happening? Look at this shit. 60x long on 1000 Pepe. 1000% gainer. My goodness. Crypto RN is hilarious. I wonder if that means registered nurse. Where I'm from, that means something completely different. Shorter there. This is only 3 hours ago. Isn't that nuts? I'm telling you, this community makes more money than any community I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just absolutely wild. And again, if you're somebody who wants to join it, check out the link down below. Again, if your goal is to become someone who is consistent and confident, this is the place for you. If this isn't what you want to become, not the place for you. Very good stuff. Love to see it. Alrighty. Been doing that for 3 years. Not good yet. Keep the ball rolling. By my third year, I was okay, but I wasn't great, and I'm not great still. Right? But I think I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good for what I do. I do very specific things, and I think I'm pretty good for that. So keep the ball rolling. Of course, the girl here is asking these questions. No, Carrie Ann, it's okay. Better pump. Yeah, really. I sold all my fart coin for this one. For this one night out with the chick. You think it's too late telling her the bill is split 92% in her disadvantage? Jesus Christ. What happened, man? What is everyone using to show their gains? Usually on trading apps, they just have like on your trade, you can like see the results and screenshot it. I think we're still in a bull market, yes. Bitcoin is at least. Disappointed you ignored challenges to your understanding of economic concepts in your posts. Wait, what? I don't even know what I did. I wonder what you're talking about. I don't know what you're getting at. Let me know. And do understand, we have a whole team behind this. So everything you see isn't always just me. Like we have a whole team that is doing analysis and providing value. It's how we can get 5 shorts out a day, 4 Instagram reels a day, 3 TikToks a day, 20 or 10 to 15 tweets a day, 2 videos a day. Like it's not just Tyler, you know what I mean? But also, I don't know what you're talking about. So I'm curious. Damn, never thought you were 23. I've been following you from 2021, and now I have more respect for your work. Good job. Much appreciated. Shout out to you. I feel like I'm a older dude in a younger guy's body, I guess. That shit sounded weird. My being chilling strategy is pretty much on. Love it. Ski. All right, I know the answer, but should I get all my money off Robinhood ASAP? It's fine. You know, I think it'd be like I have 120 something on Robinhood, which is a lot of money. So Robinhood's kind of shit, but they're safe probably. They do sketchy stuff though, you know. Have you studied economics yourself? No. I did take I had 2 economics classes whenever I was in college, but I dropped out because I hated college. So but I have just done my fair share of research on economics and economic policy individually, and I think there's some value there to it. So, learned a lot from experience more than anything. Your YouTube posts. I ignored challenges to my economic stances on my YouTube posts. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't know what I'll go look. I don't know. Okay. What's the low of your channel for Bitcoin, Tyler? Right now it is. I'm hungry, guys. What should I eat? Subway or no? Right now, bottom of the channel is $67,900. Yes, I think Coinbase is the safest exchange. Hard to tell. I mean, I think reasonably it could hit all-time highs this year, but it would take a lot. I do hope this is it. I'm tired of DCAing. It's nice to inch up on gains every time the market does these predictable moves, but I'm aching for taking it easy and taking true profits. I feel you. Homie, I ain't gonna lie. Agreed. What's a better brokerage than Robinhood? I think Fidelity in general is better. Damn, I thought you were like 27, 28. I know, bro. I know. And people say I look older too. Like people be like, damn, bro, you look like you're almost 30. And I'm like, that's not nice. Anyway. Why do I feel this pause is not going to hold the market up any longer than how long Trump's tweet lasts? Yep, probably. Quiznos is not happening, champ. Last time I ate Quiznos, I got so sick. I'll never do it again. Just woke up to a huge candle. What happened from Oz? Rewind. Check out the beginning of the video. We went over all of it, homie. Definitely selling people on a bear market. He has some. What does that mean? Let's see if I missed a comment. I don't know what that means. Okay, man loves him some Subway. Don't judge me, Mac. My mom loved your crypto beginner's guide. Had to translate it for her, but she loves crypto now. Hey, I love to hear that. Shout out to her. Tyler versus Alex Becker. Yeah, count me in. No, I think technical analysis outside of this Bitcoin descending channel is pointless. I think anything outside of this doesn't matter. It's the beard. Damn. This year, damn, I thought you were going to say like 4 to 5 years since it's still a long way to go. I mean, it could be this year under the right circumstances. I'm a little nappy right now. I need a haircut. Don't judge me. Can you suggest an international broker for stocks? I don't know, to be honest. Again, I'm not a stock guy like at all. It's the glasses that make you look older. Is that true? Do I look younger now? Selling people in a bear market has some good points, but Def talks about Jesus too much. I wonder. Oh, it's crypto, bruh. I don't even know who that is. I'm 34. I look like you. I'm gonna end my. Never mind. Bad jokes. Okay, go celebrate today, like Cheesecake Factory. Dude, we don't have one. We don't have a Cheesecake Factory. No, Jerry is not right. Quiznos is not better than Subway on any day ever. Anyway, I put all my capital in crypto in the top. Is it better to sell now? But no, just leave it alone in dollar cost average. Do you grill on the barbecue at the pad and what? Yeah, every now and then. I'm a steak guy. I like to have steak like 2 or 3 times a week, which I don't think is good for you, but fuck, dude, I love it. Outside of that, I don't really grill much else because I'm lazy. I hate that shoe style Subway lettuce. Oh, dude, if you judge me on my Subway order, I'm gonna hate myself. I get a flatbread with turkey, pepperoni, pepper jack cheese, lettuce, and chipotle sauce. Be nice to me. He looks older to people because he's mature and they don't know his age until now. I'll take that. Do you think that we still have a bull market to go? Not sure anymore. I'm not sure anymore either, but I still do think so, yeah. Quiznos is so much better. Quiznos are bad, though. Got to find a good one. Yeah, I think a good Quiznos may be better than a good Subway. Who the hell doesn't have a Cheesecake Factory? Us, dude. I hate it. Change steak for chicken every now and then so I don't get a quirky little heart attack at 50. Oh my god, dude. Quirky little cheeky little heart attack. I think it's the first one. I don't know. I'm not that smart. Could be worse. Eat a nice healthy meal after the gym. Quality protein and veggies. Love it. Dude, stay away from Subway. Seriously, skull and crossbones food. I don't care. I'll die on that hill. How about that? Boston Market. Boston Market. What you mean? I love Boston, if that's what you mean. I've never been to Jersey, Mike. Should I go? Subway has yoga mat ingredients in their bread. Stop eating it. I don't care. How about that? I don't care. I don't care, man. I drink water. I like Subway. I don't care, though. I'll summarize. Best way to decrease the debt burden is increase income. America has done this by increasing GPD. Globalized trade is what has increased our GDP up to this point. You argued for tariffs. I don't think I argued for tariffs. Maybe I did. I don't remember that. I don't remember having this argument. And I think best way is just objective. Because best way morally, I would agree. But obviously there are immoral ways or irrational ways to also lower debt burdens as well. I mean, technically, if you want to get rid of debt tomorrow, just hyperinflate everything. But I get you. I don't remember having this argument. So, anywho. Lizard food from the elites, now you care. Nope, don't care. Subway bread contains so much sugar it's considered a cake. Good, I like cake. My Sui and Render both hit their stop loss a few days ago. I was going to buy back in late last night, but thought I'd wait. Who would have known? Should I buy it back in or wait in DCA? Hard to tell. Just depends on your prerogative. But I'm always a person that's like, if you're thinking, should I buy it? Just buy it and just wait and hold it and leave it alone. Go, just rewind. Just go rewind. I don't care. I don't care. Leave me alone, Big Roy. Everyone has their vices. Mine's that I like Subway. Are you in real estate at all? Yeah. So I have a couple single families here in I almost said the city I live in. That's kind of funny, huh? In the place that I live, I have a couple single families here, and then we have a 10-plex up in Michigan, and then we are closing next week on a 41-plex in Abilene. So yeah, I'm a decent bit into real estate, if I do say so myself. How are we going to outpace 4% interest rates when the best years you get 3% GPD? I'm going to break it to you in Subway. Everything touches everything. Yes, they have gloves. I don't care. Don't care. You know, I'm a piece of shit, honestly. Like, let me be honest. Like, when people are like, dude, how do you eat McDonald's chicken nuggets once a month? Do you know it's made of horse? I'm like, I don't care. And I know that's terrible, but I don't care. I like it. And I drink my water. Like, would you rather me not drink water and eat all that? No. Drink my water. Gallon a day. Keeps the doctor away. Subway is gross Jersey Mike's. Leave me alone. I don't care. You know Jared ate fresh. Now, Donald Trump at White House now. I put pause on tariffs because people were jumping out of line afraid. Nothing's over yet. What does it mean for us? Connor Kinney could never be my father. Too short. Chinese started dumping U.S. debt, causing the U to spike. That's why 90-day pause Operation Sandman has been. What is Operation Sandman? Fill me in. Trying to, champ. Trying to. Best advice I can give you after years in CT is just follow Tyler's moves and avoid all other noise. Well, I can't co-sign that. I don't want to get sued, but I feel like I've done all right. I'm still alive. That's what I'm saying. Should we invest heavy now or wait for another pullback? I've told you guys what I'm doing. Depends on the water quality. When you have kids, you'll care. Nope, don't care. I'm just being an asshole. What do you mean? There ain't not, listen. We can't just nitpick everything. Water is water. You guys know I used to drink a gallon of water a day. Now that's far. Like, that's really far. I don't do that anymore. I got a nice little filter. But I swear sometimes I see shit in this water. Anyway. Spider-Man thing. What do you mean? They test pumped yesterday with the so-called fake news on 90-day pause. Yeah. Just look at the Nuggets for a minute. Just look at it. I don't care. I'm going to laugh if Trump just paid off the debt using the sovereign wealth fund and leverage. Today, they took positions and announced it. Yep, craziness. It's just weird that World Liberty Financial sold like that. It had to be some sort of tax, something. Like, there had to be a reason as to why they sold at a loss. Like, odd. Very odd. Maybe it was a staffer, but I would question the representation of you. I think most would agree option 2 is the best of a bad bunch. Huh. I'll go look at that. That's interesting. Thoughts on the company Ripple bought for $1.25 billion? I didn't hear about it. What was it? Did you live in the bathroom? Yeah. Spring water is key. Love it. Will Ether go back to $3,000 soon? Soon is subjective, but I mean, at some point, probably. Speaking of taxes, what are some best ways to deduct profits? Shoot, dude, I don't know, honestly. I just pay a shit ton for a CPA and let them do everything. Tyler just said buy Bitcoin when lower channel, then think about rotating the alts when Bitcoin breaks out of the descending channel. He gets it. Shout out to you, GDDBD. Do you think punishing China is actually going to work? I don't. Probably not. But what the fuck do I know? Ripple bought Hidden Road Clearinghouse. What is that? And why'd they buy it? Live in Dubai. I don't hate Dubai. That is so not true. I don't hate Dubai. Dubai is just very not for me. I am going to Token 2049. If any of you are going to be there, I'll be there. I met some of you at ETH Denver. That was fun. Very cool. I still get a little bit surprised when you guys are like, Tyler? I'm like, what? Big fan. I'm like, cool, dude. Fuck yeah, let's take a pic. But I will be there if anybody wants to chit chat. I'm going to be there hanging out. But Dubai just don't have enough grass, bro. I'm from the South, man. I like grass, dude. Grass and stinkiness is what we have here in the South, and I like it. Anyway. Tyler, my man, I honestly don't know why I signed up for. I invested in crypto. Everything died. I diversified in the stock market. Everything died. Just hang on for dear life and pray. Oh, shit. The secret to making millions in crypto is by saving for better investment. I invested 20K in crypto and made over 225K. Guess what? I put it back in and traded again. Now I'm rounding to close to $1 million. Shout out to you. Very good. Do you ever plan on inspecting content to equities, or are you content with purely crypto content? I'm going to expand out of crypto one day. I just love crypto, and it's kind of my main focus. I talk about what I'm focused on. And while I'm focused on crypto, I'll talk about it. I don't think so. Shout out to him, though. Great last name. Chipotle is my subway to happiness. You get it. Have you tried Qatar instead? I've only been to Dubai in that entire region. A global multi-asset prime broker. That's what Hit and Road is. It was a huge acquisition. I need to look into that then. What are you going in Japan? I went last year and it was really good. Hit up the Shibuya little bars. I don't know where we're going. My wife is planning all that. I love grass, appreciate the desert, but can't imagine living in one full time. Yeah, same here, dude. Same here. Dubai is more of a city, activities, vibe, and desert. Not much nature. Like, yeah, exactly. And I'm a big green dude. I like kind of digging my feet in the dirt and looking at bugs. Thanks. Y'all scared of bugs? Yes or no? Anyway, do you have any hobbies besides trading? I don't trade a ton, but outside of crypto, I like watching TV shows with my wife. Me and my dog like to go walk. I'm a retired MMA fighter, pro MMA fighter, so I still go to the gym and coach. That's one of my biggest hobby. But business is just what I love the most. You know, like just the world of business, learning everything about business. I really like it. I'm actually going out and going to do some stuff with Alex Hormozy and acquisition.com in May. I'm super pumped about that. Let's go. Take some content while I'm there for you guys. It's really just business, like business and fighting. Those are really the only things that I would say I'm very passionate about, I guess. Do you think we'll never see an altcoin season as big as it was in the last cycle? Probably. It'd be hard. It'd be difficult. I start to question whether or not we'll ever see one again for sure. You ever been to the UK? No, I haven't been to the UK before. Is Tyler a gamer? I only used to play video games when I was in fight camps for fights to just pass time. But now that I'm not fighting anymore, I don't really ever play games. I will be playing what's it called? GTA 6 though, for sure. Anything you like. Bitcoin is strongest at the moment. When Bitcoin dominance falls, you can move up the risk curve, avoid meme coins, and focus on strong coins. I like that. Great stuff. Any more of you degens posting in the freaking community gains chat? Do we have any big L's this week? Doesn't look like it. One second. Cool. All right. Sorry, I had to answer Sosa. Anybody who knows Sosa knows you got to answer Sosa. Are you bullish on the new Sonic blockchain? Yep, I do like it. Do you think I should take some profits, stay off XRP, and wait for a retracement back to 170, 180? I don't do this whole take profits now, buy back in lower. Take profits now. I have strategies that I stick to. So if you don't have a strategy that tells you to take profit right now and buy back in at a certain point, I wouldn't do it. So like, for example, my strategy is to take profit up here, buy down here. Take profit up here, buy down here. Very simple stuff. But my strategy tells me what to do. So I'm not guessing right now. It tells me what to do. And so you need to work on your strategy to get to that point. Let me know if that makes sense. Alrighty, guys. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this bad boy up. I got to go run the doggy to the vet. But please don't forget, I have a couple things for you as you do go ahead and exit the video. If you're an experienced trader and you want to get access to up to $2,600 in bonus and rewards, check out the link to Phemex down below. If you're a crypto investor whose goal is to become a winning investor, which I define as confident and consistent, you can check out the link to the Crypto Strategy School down below, which will give you the tools that you need to create strategies that can turn you into a winning investor. And again, if you don't see growth within a few hours, we'll just give you your money back guaranteed. And if you want to learn even more about all this crypto stuff works, guys, I do have a link down below to my second YouTube channel, which is purely educational. It's just a library of educational content that you can go and start learning today on strategy and all that stuff. Now, one last thing I do want to let you guys know is I post a ton of behind the scenes content and stuff over on Tyler Hill YT _, my Instagram page, where you can go if you want to see just stories from me. Like you can see here, like I don't know how to work this. I'm a noob, leave me alone. But you know, like, just kind of posting some fun stuff, you know, just I don't know, just personal life stuff. So if that's interesting to you and you want to kind of see what all we have going on, show them my garage because I'm proud of it. If you want to see all that good stuff, follow me on Instagram at Tyler Hill YT. That's there for you as well. But overall, of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's stream, and I'm happy to be back. As I mentioned before, I am going to be leaving tomorrow and Friday and Saturday, but I'll be back here on Sunday. But I have content going out every single day for you. So if you have been enjoying it, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I can't wait to see you all. And